Alrighty, howdy hackers. Hello, hello. Welcome in everyone. Hope you're excited to be here. Hope you're excited for Global Hack Week AIML. Go ahead and give some love in the chat for maybe your favorite stream so far, if you've been to any. If this is the first time you're joining us for Global Hack Week AIML, say hi too. Ooh, we got lots of people in the chat saying hello. Drop your favorite stream in the chat to get us started. Awesome. I just had a really good Today in Global Hack Week with Steven earlier, and that was very fun. It's my first one back in quite a few months, but so I'm excited to be back. And excited to be joining in, everyone. I always love Alberto's vibe. He did a general AI discussion. I did see that. It seemed great. Last one with Ryan. Lots of love. First stream of this Global Hack Week. Awesome. Sweet. I like the first one. I wanted to join the JS one in the morning, but I was sleeping. Yeah, I will go ahead and mention that just in case you missed some of our previous streams because you slept in a little bit longer or you had someone else going on. You know, we all have very busy lives outside of the hackathon community, as much as we love being a part of it, right? So I always recommend catching our video recordings over at our MLH YouTube. And I'll go ahead and post that also in the link as well. So I do have a link to the vids right there posted for y'all conveniently. You're very, very welcome. Sweet. But generally, yes, welcome to today, not today, Global Hack Week. Welcome to Global Hack Week if you're joining us after a break or in a while. Ryan is the best. I agree. He's awesome. Welcome to my first technical Global Hack Week stream in a hot second. I think the last time I was on might have been sometime in May or might even been April. I do not remember. It has been so long. But in the 3-ish months that I've been gone, I went on a month-long vacation. I started a new job. I graduated college. I did lots of really exciting stuff. So I'm super hyped to be back in Global Hack Week from my new apartment in a new and very comfortable chair. So I am excited to be back and be exciting here. Thank you. I have had an awesome time the last few months, but I'm excited to get started and get back into the swing of things. I'm really, really liking my new job. I'm really, really liking my new apartment. I love kind of everything. And yeah, so it's going well. Why, thank you. Love it. Let me log in really quickly to my notes here for today's stream. But yes, tons of happy vibes all the way. Let me go ahead and set up. So the purpose is kind of the goal of this stream is going to be developing our an AI or ML personal project. So I always like to have a quick little notes link for everyone to use. I like to type out notes in the chat generally. So sometimes what I'll do is, apparently I have Dandelion Basement as my domain name. That's fun. Cool. Let me log into, I gotta get some things set up here that I did not manage to get set up earlier. So give me a few seconds to get that settled. For some reason, it's not letting me do that on here, which is unfortunate. have to get the MLH cheat sheet. One sec. Okay, got it. And then perfect. We're good. I don't know why it wasn't. Why, thank you. My goodness. You know what I am going to do, though, while I get set up? Bring the music back. We do have a bunch of really fun music that I saw that were added. So I'm thinking maybe let's try Cozy Coffee House. That is a great vibe for today. Sweet. So, but thank you for all the love, everybody. Much appreciated. My college has blocked Twitch. I'm watching the stream on YouTube. Well, that's unfortunate. Really lame, but I'm glad that you're joining us on YouTube either way. We're happy to see you. We'll use /Kari AIML for our link here. Sweet. So we can go ahead and copy this over. But generally, what I like to do for every stream, as I was talking about, is get a little link and page set up for some notes. So I'll walk through things, and then as I kind of write things down and walk through stuff, it's sometimes easier, especially before we jump into code, to do it. And then at the end, we have kind of, a live document, right, of all the things that we've gotten to work on so far. So let's go ahead and walk through, I think, the goals of this stream, right? So we're going to be developing and walking through how to develop an AI and ML personal project. And so we've got 2 streams in the week, and we can do it. I will also grab one more thing before we fully get started, though. That is, okay, the music just turned back. Just checking. And that is our check-in link. So if you have not yet gotten a chance to check in to the stream, go ahead and do that over at this link. And then also add it in here. I love using those. Check. Link. Right, go right down here. Okay, edit. I don't know why it's doing that like that. I don't love that. But because you see what I'm saying? Like, nope, not that. There we go. That's much better. Sweet. But yeah, generally, I like to create a nice little check-in space and kind of things for all of our stream events to live at. But generally, so some of the things that I've got planned for the kind of 2 series of streams that we're having is defining your project goals. Then gathering and pre-processing data, and then selecting machine learning models. And then also, we'll actually expand this to selecting tools and technologies. And then creating a plan of action. Sweet. So those are kind of the main things that I'm going to be focusing on throughout this stream. We're going to go ahead and take a quick water break. Got a nice big cup. Excellent. There you go. Nice big cup. Sweet. Anyway, so we've got defining your project goals, gathering and pre-processing data, selecting tools and technologies, and then creating a plan of action. So the first thing that I always like to start with any project is kind of figure out what the goal is. So we have, here at MLH, we do a lot of different things within the community, but a big question you should ask yourself is, what is the purpose of your new project? And there are a couple of like sub considerations that usually take place in this process. Why is it bold? I don't want to. Thank you. The first one is this project being made So I like to say, does this project have a hard deadline? What about a soft deadline? So I like to define hard deadlines as Hi, thank you for joining us. Love to see all of us joining here. But yeah, so the first question we ask ourselves, right, is what is the purpose of your new project? The second question is, does this project have a hard deadline? What about a soft deadline? Hard deadlines are hackathons, right? Submission deadlines. If they are class projects, they also have submission deadlines. If these are resume builders, then we usually have deadline for including on resume, right? But I like to think of, I would say like resume builders, right? These are some of our personal goals. Potentially resume growth, like resume building. Etc. But to a certain extent, let's remember that our deadlines can both motivate us, but also detract from us doing our very best work. It's a great idea to vary the types of deadlines we use in our projects to motivate us. The next question that I like to ask is, who do I want to work within this project? And there are kind of two different options here. The first one tends to be independently. There are pros and cons to that. And then the other one is in a team or group, right? Sometimes we can select whether we want to work in a team or a group. Sometimes we cannot. The purpose of your new project, this can be anything from winning a prize at a hackathon, right? It can be learning a new technology. It can be creating a project for our technology resume. It can be working with other team members to build a complex project, making friends, etc., right? A project can have multiple goals, but it is important for us to know what those goals are and how important actually are. For example, let's say we are in our first semester of college, right? It might be significantly more important for us to work with other team members, make some new friends, learn how to do things in the technology space together, versus if we are working on maybe in our last semester, right, we kind of have different goals. We've probably worked with other people on technology projects before. Maybe we're looking to win some prizes. Maybe we're looking to build out our resume. Maybe we're looking to learn some new technologies, right? Yes, we do have a great question in the chat. I definitely need to get started on the MLH project as a person with very little project building experience. I have no idea where to find a team or help. And then we have a great recommendation for the MLH Discord. I'll go ahead and drop the link to the Discord as well, so you can find this at, pretty sure Hackpack Discord. Yes, so you can join the MLH Discord over at Hackpack Discord, and I'll add this into our little note sheet as well. And then when we are in the MLH Discord, there is a great channel called, a great series of channels called Global Hack Week. The hashtag global, the hashtag ask GHW is a great start. Hashtag hack together, and then hashtag AI ML, right? And so these all live right. So when we have our Global Hack Week Discord, right, we can join, and we've got lots of different channels, including our announcements, our general, but our Global Hack Week is really the place where a lot of these live. So we can ask lots of questions, chat with other hackers, and then hang out. But yes. And generally, that's a little bit more about a great place where you can find additional support for the community. But generally, that is, I think, one of my really, really big recommendations so far. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump back in here. I do want to actually get some more water. I am almost out of water. So I am going to go ahead and take about a 3 to 4 minute break. We'll probably be back around 2:30 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to take a few minutes of a break. So it'll be back at 2:30 p.m. EST. Are we EST or EDT? Log. or daylight time. So EDT is when I'll be back. And just like 6-ish minutes. And so what we'll go ahead and do after is jump back into here. So back at 2:30 p.m. ET. In the meantime, please drop all of your questions in the chat, and I will see you all in a quick few minutes. Hello, hello, I'm back. Lovely to see you all again. It's been just a few minutes, but always excited to be back. So yeah, go ahead and pop all of your questions in the chat if you have them throughout the stream. But let's jump right back into our content here, right? So we talked a little bit about defining your project goals. What is the purpose of your project, right? Kind of thinking through this. Another question that I always like to ask is, what technology do I want to use for this project? This can be a lot of, is there specific tools? I'm also gonna make my font slightly bigger. There we go. Let's do that. That's slightly too big for me. There we go. Yeah, is there specific tools or technologies I most like using? Is there specific tools or technologies I would like to learn? And is there specific or technologies I am interested generally, for technologies, I kind of see two different boats that hackers and also the broader community tends to fall into. And I can say this because I'm definitely guilty of being one of them. I can lower the background song, actually. And I can also, I'm going to probably swap around the actual song as well. We'll go with this one. I feel like you cannot hear that. I think that's much better. Sweet. So generally, right, whenever we're deciding some of these things, like the purpose of our new project, the impact of it, who we want to work on it with, etc., etc. I kind of see two big camps when it comes to technologies. The first one is the people who have like used anything and everything and are always super quick to jump onto the latest trends and the latest new thing and the latest awesome like tool and technology, which on the one hand is great and I love that they're doing things, but on the other it doesn't really get them a great exposure to a technology super broadly. And the other one is that you have the people that love using just one thing and they will build their project around doing one specific thing. I am definitely in this latter camp. I mean, if you are familiar with some of the things that I've done previously of Global Hack Week, you know, if there's a Kari Global Hack Week stream, chances are we'll be making a Swift mobile app. I love it. I love what I do. Granted, gotta keep it like a little bit more realistic. So when we ask ourselves these things, it's sometimes good to vary the type of things that we're going to be doing. So within that, I think find a happy medium. You don't have to use a new tool every time. You don't have to use the same old tools every time. We have another great one. How many projects do we need for Global Hack Week? That's a great question. So if we go to the Global Hack Week .mlh.io website, I'm also gonna heart this little comment. Thank you. I love it. But for when we have our challenges here on Global Hack Week, we have some of our like basic challenges. So the important thing is you don't have to use all of these. You can really go ahead and build out any of these different projects. There is no maximum, but I would say focus on one But I'll also go ahead and post this link to the Global Hack Week challenges. So bookmark. I'm not sure I understand your question, Abhinav. We do have a lot of sponsors that partner with Global Hack Week. Like, for example, we had a stream with Pieces earlier today or yesterday, depending on kind of where you're at. But there are lots of different sponsor / partner opportunities within Global Hack Week. But I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about in that question. So, ooh, should we use Pieces? Will do. Thanks for correcting me. Should we use Pieces in our project? I would. I think it looks awesome. Like someone mentioned earlier on in this stream, they have a project similar to a tool similar to GitHub Copilot, except it's completely free. And so you can go ahead and build out the Pieces AI ML challenge, and they have tons of really great tools and solutions for building out this application, which is awesome. So you can also find an Ask Pieces channel on our MLH Discord. So there's really, really, really tons of helpful opportunities. So I would recommend it. Generally, whenever we partner with a new technology, I always recommend our hackers go ahead and try it out, because I think it's really, really fun to get to try out new things, learn new things, and also it's a great opportunity to actually get to talk to some of the people behind Pieces, because they're great at answering questions in our chat. Ooh, which one is better, ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot? ChatGPT would love to do what GitHub Copilot does. They are different. They live in different worlds, kind of. Like, sure, they have the same purpose. But I think that GitHub Copilot is way better at coding. I don't think ChatGPT is anywhere near close it. But that's because it's more specific, right? Like our large language model. ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot can't do some of the things that ChatGPT does. ChatGPT can't do some of the things GitHub Copilot does. At the end of the day, they're both owned by Microsoft now, so the fact that Microsoft is choosing to continue spinning up both projects means that they both serve a good purpose, right? Or Pieces. I've heard really, really good things about Pieces. I've not yet gotten a chance to stab around with it myself. But I think it would be great. See, we've got lots of love for Pieces. So don't just listen to me. Listen to our community too. Are we building any sample app for this session? That is my goal. We'll see how quickly we get done through everything. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to the Global Hack Week challenges, right? So here's our Global Hack Week challenges page. We're currently on AIML. Ooh, okay, these are going to be fun. I'm excited for both of these. Cloud and open source. Sweet. But for our challenges, right, if you are looking, which one is better, Mac or Linux or Windows? I am Mac forever and ever and ever and ever, because I make iOS apps, so I kind of can't fit with anything else. But either way, I think I'm a Mac gal till I die. Sorry. Love Mac. Justice for Mac, except for playing video games. But that's okay. That's the only time I'll use a Windows. Is when I'm playing video games. All right, sweet. We've got all of these awesome challenges, right, that we can participate in over at globalhackweek.mlh.io. They're all AI specific. I know, right? I just did that yesterday with one of my friends from back home. Super fun. But yeah, let's go ahead and try and figure out a challenge that I want to do, you might want to do, and then we can do together, right? So we have future challenges, checking the AIML week, follow Pieces, but also joining our MLH Discord, filling out our address form, follow MLH on Instagram, MLH on Twitter. I love that for you. Linux is hard for me. I don't get it. But I love that for you. I got to I got to teach some of my students earlier this week about Linux. They're very excited. They're very cute. So anyway, we've got our GitHub Student Developer Pack, our GitHub Copilot Primer, pieces, saving code snippets, Hello World using pieces, chatbot app with pieces, 23 AI VirtualBox, Live Labs, RAG. Ooh, we have another question. Should I learn front end before AI? I think that honestly, there are tons of different things that you can learn, and it doesn't have to be like one or the other. I would say the best project for like true beginners, right? You're going to be building out tons of different things all at once, and you'll be learning things together. So with a good beginner project, you'll learn a little bit of front end, a little bit of back end, a little bit of AI, if that's what you're interested in doing. But obviously AI is not a requirement, right? You don't have to make an AI-based project for a beginner project. Your project will pretty much have a front end really no matter what. Java or Python? Java for school, Python for fun is my answer. My request for GitHub Student Developer Pack is approved, but I haven't received access to GitHub Copilot yet. What should I do? Wait roughly 48 hours, then reach out to GitHub Education Support if you still don't have it. Python. Python, and that's not even close. Way more applicable and way more fun to use. So yeah, implementing data structures, using speech to text and text to speech, designing a layout for an AI-powered app, using natural language processing, sentiment analysis, hacking with ChatGPT, detecting spam, building a movie recommender, and using object detection. Okay, so we've got lots of different ideas for projects here, right? I built out a fun, for our last Global Hack Week AIML, I built out a really fun project. Let me see if I can get the link to it. I'm logged out of my own GitHub. No, I'm looking. Get the things I need. Come on, two-factor. Go, 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 go. Thank you. Ah, no. That's much better. Sweet. Ooh, can MLH keep these keep the challenges open for more than a week? I don't think like you don't have to stop working on the challenges after the week. They are just a way for submission. We did try out some month-long hackathons, and if you're interested in those coming back, definitely let us know. But for now, for Global Hack Week specifically, we are keeping the points open for a week, but you can always, start on the challenge and keep going with it after. Is there a way that our submission of a challenge is going to be tracked, or is it up to us? Yes, we have a Global Hack Week dev post, actually. So submit your GHW projects over at there. And I'll also add this into our helpful links and resources. Global Hack Weeks are not really like hackathons, just because there's like no competition, no like prizes, but actually like this page explains super well. I'll share it here really quickly. This explains super well what Global Hack Week is. We do give out swag, and then also give out, we also do give out swag for people participating in the events, but there's like no prizes, so there's no judging. Developer. So there's no like specific prizes if you can't see here, but that's a little bit about our Global Hack Week schedule, right? So if that answers your question. Sweet. Okay. Ooh. I was gonna go ahead and look for my hackathon projects really quickly. Let's go Happy Beginners. Let's go Happy December. Gotta find it. Okay, there we go. I found my project from Global Hack Week December, or not Global Hack Week December, Global Hack Week February of last year is when we did AIML last. And so we had Global Hack Week Beginners and then Global Hack Week AIML, or at least it was the last one I participated in. So I had natural language processing built in to make an iOS app over on GitHub. So it was great. Very fun time. I will configure another 2FA method, yes. But we built out a Swift app about affirmations, right? So with some application classifiers and tons of really cool stuff. So it was a great, like, we also used the built-in Swift machine learning tools, and those were really, really fun to play around with. So I highly recommend that if that's something that you are interested in. So yeah, let me think through here again. So defining our project goals, gathering and pre-processing data. So I'm going to think through a fun project for us to build throughout this stream and tomorrow's stream. I think we'll use Swift again. Sorry, for fun. But I would encourage everyone to work on their own version of a project, right? So kind of think through these ideas on your own instead of just directly following along with what I'm doing. But if you want a good place to start, I think that'd be really good. So let's see. Let me think of Ooh. Yes. This is whether to use a built-in or already available AI or whether to train a small model or data set. Thoughts? Ooh, okay. Yeah. Let me go ahead and jump through this Swift easily. iPhone apps, iOS apps, iOS, watchOS, iPad OS, and now Vision OS apps. But to answer your question, Marie, I think that I like to use already available just because I don't like to waste time training unless I have time to train. You know what I mean? Like, because training does just take so much time, but for smaller projects, I think using built-in stuff is already more helpful. Swift, I think, syntax-wise, is most similar to, I don't want to say Python because I don't think that's necessarily true, but I do think it's kind of similar to Python. But it's like a mix of Python and maybe like TypeScript, I think. But yeah, iOS devices. Ooh, Rust is also another good example of something that's more similar to too. But Rust is also kind of funky, so, to be fair. But yeah, I would say I usually go with pre-trained stuff. This is why I'm actually currently looking at a fun project to kind of mess around with for the start of Global Hack Week. And let me share it. There you go. I'm looking at this project right now, right? And so what I did is I just looked up Swift like AI ML project ideas, and then I found like a growing Swift AI library, right? That is third-party. Kotlin is also very similar, yes, used for Android apps. You are very right. And generally, I think that is super, super helpful. I've created a transit delay prediction model using supervised learning models. Do you think I could incorporate AI in that project? Absolutely. I don't think, like, especially for that prediction model, like you could train a data set, right? If you could find a data set on which you could then train like your own model. Generally, I think that is quite helpful. But I don't like, I think that's not a super far project for like AI or ML incorporation. It depends on, you know, how you incorporate AI and ML. Like sometimes you will see a lot, especially now, is like, oh, I'm going to incorporate an AI chatbot built on the OpenAI framework, right? But let's ask ourselves, right, is the AI incorporation that we are adding something that's like adding on to our application? I think a lot of times the chatbots like don't really add much to the community. Oh, where do we find which large language models are available to use, right? So I think generally, there's a ton of really, really helpful resources. Someone wrote out this great tool called the Llama Hitchhiking Guide to Local LLMs. And this is like walking through a lot of really, really cool, like I would say like AI and ML concepts that I really, really like. And generally people love this article. So I do appreciate this one, and I'll go ahead and pop it into our resource tab as well. Yeah, that's kind of the perk of Swift, right? It's a relatively new language, so it got to steal a lot of stuff from the other languages that worked really well. Yeah, so this is a great resource for LLMs. Ooh, words are hard. But generally, yeah, right? So that's some of the things that I really recommend. And then let's go ahead and think through. I think it might be time for another quick break, just so I can make sure that I'm all set and ready to rumble. So I'm going to call a break until about 3:05, slightly longer this time. But I kind of really want to jump into a fun project when we're back, and then see what we could focus on later. But also, please keep the questions coming, chat. It's been lovely to get to hear from y'all, so please ask away, and I will see you all in just a few short minutes. Alrighty. Alrighty, howdy hackers, I'm back. Love to see all of our good people chatting up in our Twitch chat and our YouTube comments too, you know, having fun, talking a little bit. It's awesome to see it. So thank y'all for joining us. I really, really appreciate it. It's awesome to see you all. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our All right, chat, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I am reading, and I was looking at another Swift library too, but howdy. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. Would it be helpful to maybe start setting up our project? Would it be helpful to start, well, yes, AI, that is the point, but what with it? What about it? You know what I mean? Like, to try and think through what makes the most sense here. If that makes sense. Oh, I got an email. Let me check what's important. Nope. Sweet. Okay. Can I see your previous project? Yeah, absolutely. I thought I dropped it in the chat, but then I probably didn't. But I have a ton. I mean, I've been doing just late streams for a while, and I've been doing stuff for longer, but I have so many fun project ideas and no time to do any of them. But yeah, here's my old project as well that I worked on during summer. Don't steal it. You can use it as long as you credit me. Aside from that, it's fine. Say you got where you got it from, but it's not stealing. Especially if it's open. No. Oh, how it runs. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. If it runs. It's been, I mean, the last time I worked on it was 6 months ago, apparently. Yeah, in February. If you steal it, I will be a little sad. Honestly. Oh, I have to install updates. Wait, let me also get efficient lesson 2 yes. Yep. Oh. Oops. Let me open up my Swift project. Thank you. Stealing ain't good indeed. All right, I'm trying to boot up the project now, and we're going to see what happens. Give it a second to boot up. Share my screen. Sweet. But yeah, this project does actually have a sentiment classifier built in it, right, with CoreML. So it was like a journal idea. You're not late. We have been at this stream for about an hour, but honestly, like, we have not. We've just mostly been answering questions and talking a little bit about helpful resources. Right, so I built a little sentiment classifier for like journal apps, which was pretty fun. Once it boots up, I can go ahead and show y'all what it looks like, but it's going to take a second, I know that. So. I'm definitely at least a few things behind. Like this computer has been sitting in a box since April, and I just got it booted up a couple weeks ago, and I haven't been programming much since, because new job, new life, new kind of everything. But now that I'm back into things, it's going a little bit better. So does it adjust text based on different screen? Yeah, kind of. It groups your journal entries by like categories that they fall into, or like your affirmations by categories that they fall into. So you can write your own custom affirmations, and then it also has affirmations split up into different categories, or at least that was the goal. I definitely have some maybe like Figmas from it. I feel like I made tons of Figmas. Yep. That is really cute, actually. But yeah, I had something similar made. And it was really, really cool. But I liked it. You should be able to use it as it is, I think. But I'm not 100% sure. Like I mentioned, it's been like 6 months since I've looked at this project. But okay, yeah, so I remember this. So I was making a similar app on Android at the same time. Hold on. I'm a little laggy. Okay, that's better. I was making a similar app on Android at roughly the same time called Affirmo for like a school project. And I just decided to like build out Surify based on the things that I did starting with Affirmo. So this was like the initial design for Affirmo. It was like using an API for affirmation classification. And then from there, like affirmations with different categories. But ended up kind of growing into like lots of different things. So hopefully we'll get to see it. Ooh, my computer's humming. It's intense. Let me get the Android one. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. The Android one doesn't have the AI features, I'm pretty sure. But you can always mess around with some of the other features there from building it up. So yeah, feel free to look at that if you are interested in exploring like AI and ML things in Android maybe. And these were built out over on Global Hack Week too. So I do lots of different streams, which is really, really fun. My goodness, this download is taking forever. It's really gonna do the iPhone download last when it's the most important one. Really? Ugh. That is so annoying. All right, well, I think I have to give it a couple of minutes to download. So I'm gonna, I guess, take another quick break for technical difficulties, if you will. But we'll be back. Let's see. We'll check back in at 3:25. And I will see you all real soon. Okay, y'all, howdy, welcome back. Sorry about the delay. Unfortunately, my downloads are still downloading, so that's not very helpful. So I think let's go ahead and talk through a little bit of some of the other things that we've been kind of talking about. Initiative friendly, remind everyone to please be nice and chat to each other. And that's about it. So yeah, gathering and pre-processing data. If you are trying to use your own data set or like creating or you can also hello. There's a lot of really great data sets, right, that are vetted by lots of different people. I really like NIST, I think is how you say it. NIST, yeah. The NIST data set, which I'll go ahead and link up here. So this is a data set of handwritten digits. It is very well cleaned up. It's also been used in tons of different projects, so that's great. And then we have lots and lots of different lots and lots of different fun data sets. Like, for example, dog breed identification if you're looking for computer vision. Image nets are also used for computer vision. The breast cancer diagnostic data set, Amazon reviews, BBC News for natural language processing, YouTube for video classifications, the caching. Ooh. That's unfortunate. The Boston house price data set is another really good one. But another good place in which you can find good data sets are also like training your own large language model is pretty expensive, so like time time and get comfortable. Hugging Face also has great resources for finding data sets, and so does Kaggle. So Open Data and Kaggle both have some good data sets indeed. And so does Hugging Face. It just kind of depends on what you need for your project. So. Oh yes, I will paste the link to the Notion in again in just a few minutes. Let me just finish up. Pasting these in. We had been streaming for about an hour and a half, but it's been a lot of like people asking questions, so it hasn't been like, it's okay if you catch up. But remember, if you ever miss a stream, you can always also find us on the Major League Hacking YouTube. So you can always also watch this stream back if you need to. So. That will definitely be very, very, very helpful. It also has some of our very cool additional like resources. So that's great. Cool. Trying to see chat. What do you think we should talk about next? Does anyone have any ideas for what they want to maybe talk about? I'll give everyone a couple of minutes to think through it, because I want to make sure that we have, the best stream for y'all. So is there anything that you feel like we haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet that you might want to talk about? Okay. Sweet. Lots of good ideas. How do we host an ML app? I think it kind of depends on the state in which your application is in and how you like to do it, right? If you have, like, anytime we have a static web page, right? Like, if you just have a static page and then you're gonna like link your AI through that, I always recommend GitHub Pages. If you want something that like just developers are going to interact with, GitHub and then having them clone it to run locally might be a good idea. I think that is kind of my personal suggestion always. But you know, the more complicated your project gets, the more likely free hosting solutions are not going to be great. Google used to have a lot of really great like Google Education and Google Cloud Education resources. They have been winding some of those down, which is really unfortunate. But that is generally my personal recommendation there. So there is a lot of like free web hosting resources, right? Once you've like built out web things, is particularly helpful personally. Maybe how to approach ideas when some of them are too over the top. I already did a stream similar on this that I'm going to try and find and link it. I think it was in maybe like my Web3 or my Beginner's Week notes. But I'm going to go ahead and try and log into my one of my other accounts and find it for you, because I remember discussing this like exact process in a lot more detail. So I'll go ahead and find that in a second if I can. And then at the meantime, while I'm looking at these, we have a question about how to gather our own data, right? So what I did for this, which was a little bit crazy, is I did a clothing image classification. Yeah. I did a whole stream called Your Next AI ML Project Tips and Tricks. Share that link really quick. So for gathering my own data, I did a clothing classification CNN for a project a couple weeks ago, or not a couple weeks ago. It was almost 2 years ago at this point. But for that, what I ended up doing is I ended up like dividing with my group. Each one of us went into our closets and started taking pictures of clothes and classifying it. Granted, there was 4 or I think even 5 of us, right? So we had a lot more time than just like, you know, one person working on a personal project, but we still abandoned that idea kind of quickly. Ended up going with a used data set on Kaggle. So the best thing that I always recommend before you decide to go down the gathering your own data route is like figure out whether what you need is already out there, because that data gathering step is going to take a while. Like there is really no other better way to describe it. Like in the best case, it will take a while. So what's one of the most interesting projects you've seen and or built so far? So seen is different than built. Seen, I saw a really, really cool project. It was a hardware hack at an event I was an MLH coach at, and we were talking. They specifically did like a classification system for like tracking your plant's water intake. It was for a space team themed hackathon, which is quite fun. The idea was like, oh, one day you'll get to, water your plants in space. A little bit of a stretch there, but the actual project was very, very cool from both a hardware and a software perspective. So I, with utmost joy, helped them kind of like, they ended up winning, I think, best hardware hack, and did absolutely awesome work. So that was great to see. Image recognition AIs. Image recognition is really, really hard to do for like training purposes. Like there's lots of different helpful projects that have talked about these things, but at the end of the day, like it's really, really hard to think of projects. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's hard to tell of like, depends on what you mean by that image recognition AI question, right? Are you looking for project ideas, like resource ideas, tool ideas, so on and so forth, right? Those kind of are all different things and have different requirements. Do people cheat in hackathons using ChatGPT? I have not been to a hackathon that has like explicitly disallowed the use of ChatGPT for anything. To be fair, so like it wouldn't necessarily count as cheating. I will say since the mainstream like boom of ChatGPT, I've seen a lot more chatbot projects and a lot more AI ML projects than I used to see before ChatGPT. Like I've been at MLH for almost 2 years now, right? And so 2 years ago, in like mid 2022, the hackathon projects were very different than they are today, for better or for worse. So when it comes to that, right, like it's not super, like I can't be like, oh yeah, that's definitely because of ChatGPT or anything like that. But I do think ChatGPT coming out has changed the way that some people like do hackathon projects and what they tend to focus on, for better or for worse. So that's probably like the best answer I can give to that question. But it's hard to call it cheating, right? Because like there's technically hackathons don't really ban ChatGPT. Like I've had hackathons that are like, you can use ChatGPT, but it's really hard. Like you can use ChatGPT, but you can't use it to like make your whole project, because that's lame. Are kind of the rules, and within that, like there's cheating at pretty much every hackathon. Like, that's not new really, and that sucks, but it is the way that it is. But we do have, good cheating checks in place, and a lot of like community work goes into making sure that we are improving those processes. But I will say for now, like the hackathon community has not like changed a lot because of ChatGPT, for better or for worse. Would you recommend someone with limited coding experience do an ML project with Swift? Really interested in doing the challenges for Global Hack Week, but I have no idea how to start. I love Swift. I think it is very fun to build with. There are lots of super helpful tutorials out there. I would say if you have a Mac or an iPhone, you can totally, I would really, really recommend it for like a super beginner friendly one. If you have Windows, I'd probably go with something else, or a Linux, just because getting Mac, like getting Xcode set up on non-Mac devices is a lot harder. So I would in that case go with something else. For great resources on how to start, we've had a lot of streams so far this week, right? Building out projects from scratch. Like UT has done 2 parts now of machine learning with JavaScript. There was a stream earlier today with building AI-powered apps using pieces. We had a theoretical introduction to ML with Alberto, AI vector search with Rosendo, like tons of really, really helpful like technologies so far, and tons of really, really helpful streams for like building out these concepts. So I would say, like, it kind of depends. But yeah, I agree. Even with ChatGPT, you need to understand your code if you want your project to work and to explain your project. Copilot's also a thing. You still need to understand your code. Wholeheartedly agree, right? Like these are not like it's as a coach, it's usually very easy to tell when talking to hackers who like understands what they worked on and who was just asking for like large language model help or like trying to get away with doing as little work as possible. If that makes sense. So. When will the stream end? Are there any more topics to discuss? The stream is going to end in about 12 minutes, give or take, maybe slightly less, maybe slightly more. As for topics to discuss, I think we're kind of like now at a Q&A portion here in chat, but I'll be back tomorrow and we'll talk a lot about selecting tools and technologies, creating a plan of action. I'll hopefully be able to show y'all Cheerify that I worked on. And so I think that would be helpful. And maybe get to play around a little bit with some more of these projects. How important is the theoretical understanding of AI techniques? The more you have, the better off you should be. It is not a requirement, but always encouraged to kind of know what you are dealing with and why you're using it, how you're using it, so on and so forth. So do with that information what you will. Do you have any knowledge about ShellGBT outside of its name? Not really. Will we be going through a step-by-step tutorial to create a project? I'm hoping tomorrow we'll get to walk a little bit more through step-by-step stuff. But we'll have to see when we get there. Yep, definitely would also love to walk through hands-on experiences making projects. I think that'd be really, really fun. All right, chat, I'm going to give you all another few minutes to ask questions, but we're going to slowly begin winding down so our next streamer can prepare for their stream as well. I think our next stream is Steven over with Vision Transformers. That is at 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern. Just in about an hour, we get to hang out with Steven as he builds up a Vision Transformer. And then we have Abdullah with a Tetris Mini event, and then we'll have UT back for more streams. So it's going to be a fun few days. Yes, actually. Steven is going to be working through building out a project with a Vision Transformer. He's got a ton of knowledge about the space. I highly, highly recommend going to that stream if you can make it. But we actually did talk about it a decent amount in today in Global Hack Week earlier today. Stickers when? If you are one of our very, very lucky swag winners, you will get Global Hack Week swag pack sent over to you with some of our Global Hack Week stickers. So highly recommend participating. Taking a MOOC course on the theoretical, etc. uses of AI, definitely recommend like trying additional resources and using new things. So yeah. Thanks for today's workshop. Excited to be coming back tomorrow. Me too. It'll be fun. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. So the stream starts 1 hour earlier than this stream, which is great. But yeah. Awesome. Well, all right, chat, I'm going to go ahead and slowly begin winding down. But thank you all very, very much for watching. It was awesome to hang out with you for a few of my hours. And I am really, really excited to build out a project tomorrow. Thank you so, so much again for watching and joining us here over at MLH. Love to hang out. And yep, I'll go ahead and end it on here. Bye, everybody. Thanks so for joining again.